With a dramatic thrive, a grave, cowhide-bound report is put before you. Inside, the pages bear a tight stressed content and your eyes are attracted to 2 or 3 things that are adorned with flashy portrayals. At that point you go to the server and request. Ideally a scrumptious dinner is presently on its way, yet what driven you to pick the food you did? Was it essentially in light of the fact that you preferred the sound of the steak dish you picked or accomplished something different impact your choice? You may not understand it, however the menu presumably assumed a far more noteworthy job than you'd credit. A long way from being celebrated price lists, cafe menus are modern showcasing instruments that can push clients towards specific decisions. Eatery menus can even mention to us what to think. Indeed, even the official around the menu is passing us significant messages about the sort of experience we are going to have, clarifies Charles Spence, a teacher in exploratory brain research and multisensory discernment at the University of Oxford. There are a great deal of components on a menu that can be changed to push the client somehow. Indeed, even straightforward changes to the request for things on the menu or the typeface utilized can significantly affect individuals' decisions. There is currently a whole industry known as menu building, devoted to structuring menus that pass on specific messages to clients, urging them to spend more and make them need to return for a subsequent making a difference. For a huge chain that may have 1 million people a day coming into their eateries around the globe, it can take as long as 1.5 years to put out a menu as we test everything on it multiple times, says Greg Rapp, a menu engineer situated in Palm Springs, California, who has taken a shot at menus for little neighborhood bistros and worldwide mammoths during his 34-year-long vocation. Clients just put in almost no time taking a gander at the menu, so we need them to utilize this time effectively. On the off chance that they can discover a thing they need immediately, at that point they can invest the additional energy taking a gander at different things they may arrange. Maybe the principal thing a client will see about a menu when the server hands it to them is its weight. Heavier menus have been appeared to propose to the client that they are in a progressively upscale foundation where they may anticipate significant levels of administration. A sweet kind. The text style the menu is written in can pass on comparable messages, for example an italic typeface passes on an impression of value. In any case, utilizing elaborate text styles that are difficult to peruse could likewise have another impact: it could change how the food itself tastes. An investigation directed by analysts in Switzerland found that a wine named with a hard-to-peruse content was enjoyed more by consumers than a similar wine conveying a less complex typeface. Spence's own exploration has additionally discovered that purchasers regularly partner rounder typefaces with better tastes, while rakish text styles will in general pass on a salty, sharp or harsh experience. Eateries can play with this to prod individuals towards requesting increasingly costly dishes, clarifies Spence, whose ongoing book Gastrophysics, The New Science of Eating, took a gander at the issue in detail. Be that as it may, the language on the menu can be similarly as significant. He includes: all things considered, a grass took care of Aberdeen Angus fillet with thick-cut rosemary fries sounds considerably more tempting than a basic steak and chips, does it not? Liberal depictions. This kind of spellbinding language is broadly utilized by the food business. The British retailer Marks & Spencer broadly utilizes verbose, and regularly exotic, depictions of the food it sells in its adverts, to pass on the impression of the nature of its items. This isn't only a pudding, one advert announced. This is a soften in the center, Belgian chocolate pudding presented with additional thick Channel Island cream. It saw deals rocket by 3,500%. Words have huge control over our food decision. Giving dishes spellbinding names can expand deals by up to 27% now and again. This turns out to be especially compelling if the portrayal connects some provenance to the fixings. Grandmother's home prepared zucchini treats sound significantly more engaging than courgette rolls. Naming the rancher who developed the vegetables or the type of a pig can assist with adding credibility to an item, says Spence. Customers accept that as an indication of value, even it has been made up. Tactile words can likewise cause a dish to appear to be additionally engaging. An ongoing report distributed by researchers at Stanford University, in California, found that vegetables that have been given liberal-sounding depictions, for example, explosive stew, sweet sizzling green beans, and firm shallots, on a cafeteria menu were picked 23% all the more frequently on the grounds that it made them sound all the more energizing and flavorsome. The words used to portray a food, be that as it may do undeniably more than make them sound luring. They can make our mouths water. An investigation from the University of Cologne in Germany a year ago demonstrated that by astutely naming dishes with words that mirror the mouth developments when eating, cafes could build the satisfactoriness of the food. They discovered words that moved from the front to the rear of the mouth were progressively powerful, for example, the made-up word bodock. The impact appears to try and work when perusing quietly, maybe in light of the fact that the cerebrum despite everything invigorates the engine developments required to deliver discourse when perusing. This masticatory impact, the creators recommend, gets our spit organs working. Putting brand names into dish titles is likewise a powerful system for some chain cafes, as are nostalgic names like Handcrafted or Ye Olde, as indicated by Brian Wanzink from the Food and Brand Lab at Cornell University. A portion of enthusiasm and family can likewise support deals. Letter costs. Be that as it may, be careful with menus with meandering aimlessly, modifier-filled portrayals. There might be an increasingly soldier of fortune purpose behind verbose dish outlines. They can cause the food to appear better, an incentive for cash. Dan Jurafsky, an educator of computational semantics at Stanford University, played out an examination that dissected the words and costs of 650,000 dishes on 6,500 menus. He found that if longer words were utilized to portray a dish, it would in general cost more. For each letter longer the normal word length was, the cost of the dish it was portraying went up by 18 pennies, 14p. The more portrayal you have, the higher the estimation of the thing and the lower the cost appears in the client's head, says Rapp. On the off chance that you simply composed New York steak $43, it can appear to be costly, yet on the off chance that you compose a passage about it, how it is a prime cut, where it originates from and to what extent it has been matured for, at that point it can appear to be more affordable. The key, however, is guaranteeing the portrayals as something the restaurateur puts stock in, else it can simply appear to be devised. The story behind the food must be close to home and valid. Be that as it may, the words on the menu are not by any means the only thing imparting you signs. The hues it uses could likewise be having an effect. Certain hues like green are frequently used to suggest the food is solid and new, while orange is thought to invigorate the craving, as indicated by Aaron Allen, a worldwide eatery specialist, situated in Orlando, Florida, who is a specialist on the brain science of menu plan. Red proposes a need to keep moving and maybe causes to notice dishes the culinary specialist most needs you to purchase, presumably on the grounds that they have the greatest overall revenue. Eateries can utilize different deceives, however, to entice coffee shops into purchasing increasingly costly dishes. Maybe the most well-known is to drop the cost by a penny, or penny, as paying $5.99 for a dish causes it to appear to be less expensive than a pleasant round $6. This is broadly utilized over the retail business and most customers are savvy to it. Yet, eateries have another stunt at their disposal, dropping the dollar or pound sign by and large. The dollar sign is a torment point that reminds the coffee shop that they are going through cash, says Allen. By simply utilizing the figure, or surprisingly better, working it out in words, it can lessen that torment. Prime land. Allen even says essentially reordering the dishes on the menu can likewise have sensational effects. By setting the most costly thing at the highest point of the menu, it causes those that come after it to appear to be undeniably more sensibly evaluated. We can expand the benefits of an eatery by thousands basically by improving the things on the menu, says Allen. Research utilizing eye-following innovation has indicated that clients read menus in truly unsurprising manners. They will frequently peruse a menu much like they would a book, however Rapp's own work has appeared there are a few hotspots on the page. At the point when we do eye-following on a client with a menu in their grasp, we ordinarily observe hotspots in the upper right-hand side, he says. The main thing on the menu is likewise the best land. Some enormous cafe networks are in any event, utilizing large information from a huge number of deals to perceive what effect moving something on a menu can have. In any case, filling a menu with such a large number of things can really hamper decision, as indicated by menu structure specialists. They state offering anything else than 7 things can overpower coffee shops. To defeat this, they advise cafes to separate their menus into segments of somewhere in the range of 5 and 7 dishes. More than 7 is too much, 5 is ideal and 3 is otherworldly, says Rapp. There is some examination to back this up. An investigation from Bournemouth University a couple of years prior found that in drive-through eateries, clients needed to pick from 6 things for each classification. In top-notch foundations, they favored somewhat more decision, somewhere in the range of 7 and 10 things. Picture this. There are different ways menus can cause you to notice specific dishes, as opposed to depending upon the way your meandering eye takes. Boxes around specific dishes, frequently extravagant alternatives like steaks, can be especially successful. A few cafes likewise use logos that may connote another time or an occasional dish to draw a client towards those decisions. Pictures can likewise help, however it relies upon where you're eating. In numerous pieces of the world, pictures of food will in general be related with less expensive inexpensive food, and can put off the more inflated eater. The issue with pictures is that the mind will likewise taste the food a smidgen when it sees an image, so when the food comes it may not be very tantamount to they envisioned, cautions Rapp. Frequently the food doesn't come out looking on a par with it does in the photos as well. That is a typical issue that any individual who has eaten in certain inexpensive food burger cafes will have encountered. The overflowing cheddar, sparkling meat squeezes and running egg yolk on the menus are once in a while reflected in the messy heap of meat, plate of mixed greens and bread that is served. However, the intensity of alleged food pornography, to set our mouths watering, could before long become unmistakably increasingly significant as cafes and menus move into the advanced age. Coffee shops are progressively ready to arrange the food online through their cell phone or on intelligent presentations at their table. Our psyches discover protein moving, overflowing cheddar and spilling yolk appealing, says Spence. As menus go computerized, there will be greater chance to show this off with recordings and liveliness. Menus of things to come could turn out to be refined to such an extent that they may even recognize what you need to arrange before you even acknowledge it yourself, contends Allen. 2 or 3 years prior, Pizza Hut started testing eye-following innovation to anticipate what cafes may need as they filter through 20 distinct fixings before offering a conceivable mix to the client. Allen says man-made reasoning and AI could change this much further. Calculations could take a gander at your past decisions when you last visited a cafe and propose different things you may like. The cafe business has likely burned through many billions of dollars throughout the years attempting to comprehend menu structure, menu designing and brain research, he says. Be that as it may, the open doors introduced by the fourth mechanical transformation are enormous. Envision having the option to arrange a dinner that has been intended to incorporate your preferred nourishments with a solitary snap. It is safe to say that you are as yet persuaded the Angus taken care of hamburger fillet was truly what you needed to arrange.